Welcome all to another video on Apex Legends. Today we have a tips and tricks and how to just kind of, little tips you may never know are inside the game that might help you improve as a player on Apex Legends. Firstly, we have the characters Bangalore, who is your assault type character. You then have Bloodhound, who is your tracker character, useful for rushing and finding enemies. You then have Caustic, who is your defensive character, who uses Nox gas to defend and hold down points. Then have Gibraltar, who is a bullet sponge used for his shield while firing. You then have Lifeline, is your support character as a medic, has quick revive. You then have Mirage, that can basically fake out the opposition with drones. You then have Pathfinder, who can get from place to place real quick with his zip lines, and you then have Wraith, useful for flanking and getting out of situations quick while using the Void. Let's get a little bit into the basics of Apex Legends and the structure of the game. Now there's 20 squads made up of 3 players in each squad, all taking different characters from the selection of the 8 characters I just showed you. A drop in from a dropship. You can choose a location you want to drop with your squad mates. You then each have to go and find weapons, shields and all other sort of loot to survive and obviously make it to become the champion. Now this is not an easy task. You go through, have to deal with different types of skill players, different types of specialist abilities that obviously all the characters have, that you have to use to create an advantage on each battlefield and turn the tides of a fight. Just by using simply your ult can make the difference, but also doesn't mean you're going to be guaranteed to win that fight by using your ult, so be smart about it. So you might be thinking right now, HuNTERz, where do I go? If I'm new at the game, where do I drop? If I'm experienced but I'm having a few bad games, where should I go? Where's going to give me good loot but also allow me to get further and further into near the end game? Now this is the difficult thing. With Apex Legends, unlike other games, there is no tilted towers, quotation marks. But there is high tier loot zones. Now I'm going to show you a map right now. This here, will tell you where the high tier loot is marked in purple, and where the medium tier loot is marked in blue. You'll also notice as well on the edging of this map is majority of the time is where the high tier loot areas will be. Now these do not change from game to game, but the loot that is found in these areas will change on a game to game basis. So if you're like me and you enjoy certain weapons, a certain class setup that you like to run with through your Apex games, then it's not always going to be guaranteed you're going to be able to find those weapons. So I would obviously recommend learning to use other weapons, even if you're not too comfortable with them, just so maybe you can win maybe 1 or 2 gunfights with them, just to kind of move you on the way towards the end game and again obviously that champion. But let's get into the guns themselves. Now obviously everyone has their preferences, and obviously if you hear your friends or someone saying that this gun is amazing or this is the best gun in the game, don't listen to them, honestly. And I'm not telling you to that your friends are lying and stuff. They may be telling the truth, but the fact is, and I believe they would be, but the fact is every gun works well in a different situation. Also depends on your playing style. Also depends on if your accuracy is high. You want to go for something a bit more that can spray 100 bullets in a couple of seconds, then do it. And obviously I know in Apex there's no guns that actually can spray 100 bullets per second, because then that would be overpowered. But obviously you know what I'm getting at. If you want something that's a bit more faster fire rate, if you want to run that for the whole game, then do it. If that's what makes you feel comfortable and that's what you're getting kills with, do it. If you, like me, really enjoy the wingman, and find that at least 50% of the time you can hit your shots. Obviously, as you can see here, I missed quite a few. Embarrassing. But yeah, obviously, you have to learn to adapt to what you're good at. It will change from day to day. A few days you might really do really well with a certain weapon, and then the next day you'll do really trash with it. But it's almost learning how the fire rate is. How to use it correctly. How to use the hop ups, and if it's good with the hop up or without. There's not really a weapon in the game that is actually that bad. They can all be used really, really well if they correctly used by the correct player. Obviously, as I said, they fit perfectly into a majority of the sort of the play styles of the players coming into the Apex Legends community. Obviously you can find obviously some will hit harder, but obviously it will take a little bit more time. So obviously, you might have to learn the recoil of them. You might have to learn how to maneuver with them when you're in a gunfight. You might want to be able to hit your high damage shots with the peacekeeper. It means you've got to get in close. You've got to get in a bit personal, slide around. Kind of hitting them unexpected. I find the wingman with the skull piercer is incredibly powerful if you're accurate with your shots. But obviously, if you don't, you're going to get killed. If you miss your shots, you're not going to have a chance. It has, it's rewarding if you can hit your shots, but it's so badly punishing if you can't. If you miss a couple, you're sort of in a bit of trouble half the time if you don't have any cover. Same as a shotgun. You can hit, you may have a shotgun, but you might miss a few shots as you're coming in close. You may, you get those days, it does happen. But obviously then in those situations you just switch it up, you put an SMG on. But what I'm going to show you right now is the different stats. You can pause the video here. Obviously it's a good little tip alert here. There is all the stats here that are going to give you all the damage, the headshot damage for each weapon. Now this is obviously officially was released and was leaked from EA a while ago, and I found it on a community on For the Win. Obviously what you'll see at the end of the clip, I will leave a link below for you. I found this on the community and I thought I'd share it with you guys. Now so pause the video if you want to have a look at it, and you want to just interested to see what hits the hardest, what you might want to try out, maybe make you think, oh okay, Jesus, I never knew it hit that hard or it was that good. Let me see what I can do. It also shows the fire rate and the magazine size. So here is what I promised, the whole stats, the class types, the DPS, the body damage, the headshot, and the magazine size on each of the weapons. Now when reading this, obviously do remember that this is as a basic weapon. This is as you pick it up off the floor. This is not with any magazine. This is not the gold weapons with all the attachments on. This is just as a basic weapon. This is, how it's factory issue of what as it is on the floor. Now got to remember, one of the most important things in this game is not exactly if you're the best player. Sometimes the most important player in a game is a player that can call out and listen. So remember to stick with your teammates when obviously dropping in. This is one of the most annoying things that a lot of people have suffered with, especially the players that are trying to get wins in a day out and day in basis. So obviously you want to make sure that you are there for your teammates. Obviously remember the character you play, remember the job role that you play in that team. So if you're playing Lifeline, play as the medic. I'm not saying hide back in the corner until your teammates go down. What I am saying is literally just support them, and then as soon as they go down, if you get an option, get in there and heal them, because you have a 25% speed boost as well as the shield from your drone. Obviously, thank you guys for popping by and obviously listening to this tips and tricks. If you enjoyed the video, obviously please come and watch the Twitch on